Hello children, welcome to NEET AIPMT Foundation Biology session. You are watching Sexual Reproduction in Plants. Children, we have so far completed the formation of male gametes, that is male gametophyte, pollen grains, formation of female gametes, that is the formation of embryo sac, and the process of pollination, type of pollination, etc. In the today's class, we are going to discuss about the events which occur after pollination. Okay, pollination, types of pollination also we have completed. So now the fertilization process, the final process, okay, we are going to discuss. So are you ready, children? Let us proceed. Pollen germination and fertilization. As soon as the pollen grain reach the stigma, the pollen grains which fall on the stigma are held by its sticky secretion and start germinating in the presence of moisture and the nutrients available on the stigmatic disc. Okay. So, the nucleus of pollen grain divides to produce vegetative and generative cells or vegetative and generative nuclei. A short cytoplasm outgrowth called germ tube or pollination tube, it is also called, emerges from the pollen grain and continues to grow as pollen tube. Okay. The ability of the pistil, so this is the pistil, the ability of the pistil, this entire thing, gynoecium is also called a pistil. The ability of the pistil to recognize the pollen followed by its acceptance or rejection is the result of a continuous dialogue between pollen grain and the pistil, which is mediated by chemical components of the pollen interacting with those of the pistil. Pollen pistil interaction, it is called pollen pistil interaction. The pollen grains which fall on the stigma are held by its sticky secretion and start germinating in the presence of moisture and nutrients available to the stigmatic disc. A short cytoplasmic outgrowth, that is called the germ tube, okay, that emerges from the pollen and continues to grow as pollen tube. During its growth, the pollen tube secretes enzymes and digests the tissues of the stigma. The pollen tube grows chemotropically and intercellularly into the style due to a concentration gradient of calcium boron in inositol sugar complex. There is a complex, the chemical composition which will form a complex that is called calcium boron inositol sugar complex. Once the tip of the pollen tube reaches the micropyle end of the embryo sac, the tube grows into the embryo sac through one of the synergids which flank the egg. Okay. So, here the pollen tube germinates and enter into the ovule through micropylar region. Okay. You can see. So, during its growth, the pollen tube, what happened? It secretes some enzymes which digest the tissue of the stigma and the style. The pollen tube grows chemotropically and intercellularly into the style due to concentration gradient. What is that concentration gradient? Calcium boron inositol sugar complex. The nucleus of the generative cell, the two cells are formed, tube cell and generative cell. The nucleus of the generative cell forms two male gametes by mitotic division. Then the pollen tube eventually enters the ovule through its micropyle and embryo sac through one of the synergids. Okay. Later on, the two male gametes or sperms are discharged into the embryo sac. Okay. The tube grows into the embryo sac through one of the synergids which flank the egg. After entering one of the synergids, the pollen tube releases two male gametes into the cytoplasm of the synergid. One of the male gamete moves towards the egg cell and fuses. Okay. One of the male gamete fuses with the egg cell, thus completing Syngamine. It is called as a Syngamine. The Syngamine results in the formation of a diploid zygote. Diploid zygote. The other male nucleus will be there now, that will combines, that moves towards the polar nuclei, towards the two polar nuclei or secondary nucleus, it is also called, located in the central cell, and fuses with them to form or to produce a triploid endosperm nucleus, triploid primary endosperm nucleus. As this involves the fusion of three haploid nuclei, it is termed as a triple fusion. Okay. Since two types of fusion, what are they? Syngamine and triple fusion takes place in the embryo sac. This is the embryo sac. Okay. As a result of this fusion of the secondary nucleus or polar nucleus with the male nucleus will form a triploid endosperm nucleus. It develops into endosperm. Okay. And the phenomenon is called as a double fertilization, triple fusion. Okay. Let us discuss more about this. One of the male gametes fuses with the egg, resulting in the production of zygote. This is called a Syngamine. It is a common. The second male nuclei or the second male gamete fuses with the two polar nuclei or secondary diploid nucleus, okay, producing a triploid primary endosperm nucleus, PEN it is called in short form, primary endosperm nucleus. This is called triple fusion. Thus, in an embryo sac, there occurs two sexual fusions. One is the Syngamine, which results in the formation of zygote, and other is the triple fusion. So, this phenomenon is called as double fertilization. Okay. Two times the fertilization occur. First is fertilization, it is also called Syngamine. So, here antipodals, polar nuclei, egg cell, this is the embryo sac, synergids. So, as soon as the pollen grain reaches the stigma of the flower, this germinates to produce a germ tube or pollen tube. This pollen tube enters through the micropylar region of the ovule or embryo sac and reaches the synergids. From there, it releases the male nucleus, fuses with the egg cell, okay, releasing of the sperm cell here. One of it form the zygote, first fertilization. In the second fertilization, the second male nucleus combines with the secondary nucleus or polar nucleus in the middle of the embryo sac and form endosperm. A triple fusion takes place and 3N nucleus is formed, endosperm nucleus. Okay. Next, what is the significance of this double fertilization and triple fusion? Okay. It is an unique or characteristic feature of the flowering plants, angiospermic plants. The central cell after triple fusion becomes a primary endosperm, that is PEC, primary endosperm cell, and develops into the endosperm, while the zygote develops into an embryo. Okay. So, what are the significance? The double fertilization gives birth to the seed embryo, diploid, and to the endosperm, it is a triploid. The endosperm supplies the food materials to the developing embryo, and due to which the embryo is differentiated properly, leading to formation of seed. So, it improves some characteristics of the male parent to the nutritive tissue endosperm. Okay. So, this endosperm, zygote develops into embryo and this provides the food. Endosperm and embryo development. The endosperm in angiosperms, the endosperm development precedes embryo development. The formation of endosperm is initiated by mitotic divisions of the primary endosperm nucleus, pen. Okay, the endosperm accumulates the food. The endosperm in angiosperms develops from the primary endosperm nucleus, which is formed as a result of a triple fusion. It is a nutritive tissue that supplies the food to the growing embryo and also seedling. Seedling means the baby plant. The primary endosperm nucleus is triploid as it is formed by the fusion of one of the male nucleus and the two polar nuclei. It divides to form a large triploid endosperm, and there are three types of endosperm based on the first and subsequent divisions of the primary endosperm nucleus. Okay. So, actually this endosperm accumulate the food reserve and functions as a nutritive tissue for the developing embryo. Okay. And the endosperm may be completely consumed by developing embryo before seed maturation. So, such seeds are called non-endospermic or exalbuminous seeds, for example pea seed. Okay. Or it may persist, that endosperm may be persist in the mature seeds also. Such seeds are called as albuminous seeds, example castor, cereals, etc. Okay. The types of endosperms, if you take, there are three types of endosperms are there, that is a nuclear type, cellular type and a helobial type. So, this is the double fertilization, degenerating antipodals, then the primary endosperm nucleus, one of the male nuclei combined to form the primary endosperm nucleus. So, first here the primary endosperm cell is present, it converts into the primary endosperm nucleus. Zygote is formed. Okay, synergids, after the formation of zygote, synergids will degenerate. Okay. So, first fertilization, during which one of the male nucleus combined with the egg cell, okay, in filiform apparatus to form zygote. Then second fertilization takes place between the secondary nucleus or the polar nucleus with the male nucleus to form endosperm nucleus. Okay. This is called triple fusion, double fertilization, triple fusion. Morphology of fruit. Before going to the morphology, the embryo develops into at the micropylar end of the embryo sac where the zygote is situated. Most zygote divides only after certain amount of endosperm is formed. A typical dicotyledonous endosperm consists of a embryonal axis and the two cotyledons, and the part of the embryonal axis above the level of cotyledons is called as epicotyl. Okay. And it terminates the stem tip called the plumule. In the embryo, two regions are present. One is the part develops into shoot system, that is called plumule. The part hypocotyl, that is epicotyl region, and the hypocotyl region of the cotyledons where terms root tip is present, that is called as radicle. It is a future root, it becomes. The root tip is covered by means of a root cap, it is also called calyptra. In monocots there is only one terminal cotyledon called scutellum. Okay. Whereas the grass family, in the grass family example, the early development of the dicot and monocot embryos is similar up to globular stage. Later on differentiation starts. The formation of seed and fruit after post fertilization changes they are called. Okay. So, the fruit is the characteristic feature of the flowering plants. It is a mature or ripened ovary that develops after fertilization. Okay. In angiosperms, the seed is the final product of sexual reproduction. It is often described as a fertilized ovule. The seeds are formed inside the fruit. A seed typically consists of seed coats, cotyledons and an embryonal axis. Okay. The fruit, what is a fruit? A fruit is derived from the ovary of a flower, not associated with any non-carpellary part, it is called a true fruit. Example, tomatoes, grapes, cucumber, pea, etc. The fruit derived from the ovary along with the other accessory floral parts, it is called as false fruit. Okay. Some fruits are there. If a fruit is formed without fertilization, then it is called as a parthenocarpic fruit. The phenomenon is called as parthenocarpy. Parthenocarpic fruits means seedless fruits. Nowadays they are very popular. Grapes, okay, banana is one such fruit, parthenocarpic fruit. Generally the fruit consists of a wall and pericarp and seeds. The pericarp may be dry or fleshy. When pericarp is thick and fleshy, it is differentiated into the outer epicarp, the middle mesocarp and inner endocarp. Okay. Pericarp is equal to epicarp plus mesocarp plus endocarp. Outer pericarp, middle mesocarp and inner endocarp. Okay, you can see this is a fruit. The pericarp consisting of a exocarp or epicarp, mesocarp and endocarp. Okay, this is the seed inside the fruit. Okay, consists of cotyledons covering. In most plants, by the time the fruit develops from the ovary, other floral parts degenerate and fall off. Okay. However, in a few plants such as apple, cashew nut, strawberry, the thalamus or the pedicel also contribute to the fruit formation. Such fruits are called as false fruits. Okay. False fruits means the fruit derived from the ovary along with other accessory floral parts. What is that floral part? Pedicel or thalamus. Okay. Such fruits are called as a false fruit. Apple, strawberry, these are the examples of false fruits. As the ovules mature into the seeds, the ovary develops into fruit, proceed simultaneously. There is a great variation in the nature of pericarp in fleshy fruits. The true fruits can be classified into two types based on the nature of pericarp. That is, the fleshy fruits will have the pericarp divisible into epicarp, mesocarp and endocarp, while the dry fruits, okay, fleshy fruits and dry fruits have dry and invisible pericarp. Indivisible pericarp means pericarp is not divided into exocarp, endocarp, mesocarp. Okay. So the pericarp nature is one of the characters used to identify the fleshy fruits into 5 subtypes such as berry, drupe, hesperidium, pippo and pome. Very important types of fruits here. Okay. Berry, drupe, hesperidium, pippo, pome. Okay. In mango and coconut, the fruit is known as drupe. What is an example for drupe? Mango and coconut. They develop from the monocarpellary superior ovaries and are one-seeded. Okay. In mango, the pericarp and an inner stony hard endocarp are present. In coconut, which is also a drupe, the mesocarp is fibrous. In a berry, example, guava, grapes, tomato, the mesocarp and endocarp are fused to form pulp and the seeds are hard. The seeds are very hard. You can see here epicarp, mesocarp, the seed, endocarp. This is a drupe mango. Okay. Pericarp and an inner stony hard endocarp is present. So this is Okay. So, generally the berries, if you take they develop from bi or multicarpellary Syncarpus gynoecium. Okay. If you take berries, they develop from bi or multicarpellary Syncarpus gynoecium. In pepo, example cucumber, the epicarp is like a rind, the mesocarp is fleshy and the endocarp is smooth. It develops from a tricarpellary unilocular inferior ovary. 3 carpels are present. A Hesperidium, example citrus, it is characterized by leathery epicarp and many volatile oil glands, peppery mesocarp, and endocarp wall bears juicy hairs. Okay. So, some cavities are present, lysogenous cavities and cygogenous cavities in this Hesperidium citrus fruits. The Hesperidium develops from a multicarpellary Syncarpus multilocular superior ovary. Okay. So, this is the Hesperidium, berry with a leathery rind, lemon, citrus lemon. So, leathery rind is present, exocarpitis with oily glands. Okay. Some smell also you can sense. This is the mesocarp, this is the endocarp, the carpel section, locule filled with juice filled hairs. Okay. This is the seeds, this is the exocarp. Okay. Next type in pome. Okay. What is pome? Apple example. In pome, the fruit develops from inferior ovary of bi or multicarpellary gynoecium and is surrounded by fleshy thalamus. The endocarp is cartilaginous. When the pericarp is dry or non-fleshy, the fruits are called dry fruits, as in groundnut and mustard, etc. These dry fruits may break open, that is dehiscent type fruits there, and liberate the seeds, or may remain unopened indehiscent types and liberate the seeds only after disintegration of pericarp. The fruits of pea, beans, pulses, so dehisce dorsiventrally into 2 halves and are called legumes. Okay, they are called legumes. A capsule dehiscences in different ways to liberate the seeds. Example, cotton, datura, umetta. Okay, so you can see this is the apple, where you can see the cross section of apple, the pulp from the periantha, the seed, the core from the ovary. Okay. It is formed inferior ovary of bi or multicarpellary gynoecium surrounded by fleshy thalamus, and endocarp is cartilaginous. Okay. Hope you followed, children. So, this is the lesson sexual reproduction in plants. Okay. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching our video. Have a good day.